All right, hey, what's up, everyone? Now, typically what I'll do here is just go over left tee box, get kind of the best angle. There's times that you will see that I will go over this. This honestly isn't a terrible time to... Now, the only thing that I did make a mistake is if I was wanting to go over this, I should have moved it back. So sometimes you can get over this. So let me just take a look here. So, I'm thinking something along the lines of a 3-wood. The only way you can get over, of course, is with a Maniacs. Now, a lot of times I will just hit the slice shot here. It's a lot safer. You don't have to worry, because there is some trees. You can't see them over the downside of that mountain. That's one of the only reasons that you don't see me going over here, because you can actually see I'm actually pointed right at them. So if I was to go through this hole, I'd almost have to have it curling back. And then what if I hit that tree? It kind of makes for a slippery slope there. But what I might actually have to do is, unfortunately, hit the 4-wood when I'm up towards this tee box. So I'm not sure if there's a couple things I'm worried about here. I don't know for sure that this is going to carry enough. Now, one of the things I can do is I can just kind of try to split this a little bit, and then we could maybe try to do like a hold up shot to where it's kind of gently curling back, so that way I can avoid those trees. But as I mentioned, if I wanted to go directly over this mountain, which I typically don't do, I'm going to need to do it probably by backing up to create just a little bit more loft, because I'm not sure if this is getting over. It's going to be close. And again, as I mentioned, you might want to pull up just a little bit more towards the tee in this case to really just try to slightly bend this to where it misses that tree. And sure enough, that actually looks pretty good. But you can see, not a lot of room there. And something, it doesn't creep over that mountain by that much. And that's one of the main reasons that I like to kind of back it up just a little bit. But you could see that I had to execute that perfectly to avoid those branches. But here you can see, I got myself in here for an easy eagle. Let's just talk about the other shot, because this is the more common shot that I do. And of course, with this other wind here, this is pretty much my preferred method to go. And what I typically end up doing is I typically will do this. Unfortunately, you'll need a driver here. We could get away with a 3-wood if, oh, you know what? I don't think they're giving me the tee. They gave me the alignment, but they're not giving me the tee. So with the tee, I might be able to do 3-wood, which 3-wood's ideal because it's going to have more loft. If you try to go driver, it's barely going to cover the mountain. So it has to thread through there perfect. And typically, if you're trying to thread it, you have to kind of point where I'm aiming and then do a hook that we're talking about. Maybe you can only go gentle. So you can see, I'd have to be somewhere down here, no more than this on the curl. Because the more curl that you get, the lower it comes in trajectory. It ends up clipping the mountain. And it also has to cut through this part of the mountain and the long part of the mountain to be perfect. Now with the 3-wood, it's less picky. I don't have to be that perfect with the 3-wood. So that's one of the beauties of being able to pull off the 3-wood. However, it's better for the front tee box for the 3-wood, because I'm not going to be able to get this down towards the hole. But let's say the tee box is to the left, or to the pins to the left, which it is a lot of times. We can just kind of hit a gentle curl around here with the 3-wood. For instance, something along the lines of this. And then again, just kind of push up towards the left. And that's exactly the little groove that I was talking about, how it just kind of gently goes through there. You can see that I just kind of gently got it right through that little low funnel, like a little crest there. The driver would need to come through that at that perfect angle. If it didn't come in just like that, it's going to clip that mountain 99% of the time. Now here you can see this wasn't the ideal situation to go this way, but I at least wanted to just cover that shot for you. Now, one of the things that I can do, there's a couple things. We can still use the chipper. 51, 59, this might barely get there. A lot of times what I'll do is maybe top spin it, but since there's so much of a downslope, you know, I'm just going to kind of go for this. I don't expect to make it, but I could. I guess we'll just see. You have to play a reasonable amount of wind, and that's what you can see that I'm doing, because the ball is going to deflect to the left, and I'm hoping it kind of gently curls back to the right at the end. So let's see what I can do here. And of course, you know, we're going to go full and push up towards the G as straight as possible. This club likes to pull significantly. It looked pretty good, but it didn't quite roll back. But as I mentioned, you know, I figured it would run out 59, 60, somewhere in there. I thought it would probably get there. Alternatively, like I mentioned, if I was at a little bit more range, I could go top spin ball. That top spin ball would go at least another 5-10 yards. I'd be able to get it at least 50, 66 down the hill probably, maybe even 70. So if I go a streak ball, you know, I can really extend that range. And you can see that wind was so intense that it didn't allow the ball to curl back. So I was trying to play the break, and you could see that the way that rolled out, even though it said right one, it didn't take any right. It essentially only started to curl back right as it was just about to stop. It essentially just kind of straightened out. So I needed to play just a touch more wind. But those are the things that you kind of just try to learn as you go, and hopefully you get better. So keep all that in mind, and I will see you guys on the next one.